First Chronicles chapter 26, Gatekeepers and Treasurers. The divisions of the gatekeepers. The Korahites, Meshelemiah son of Korah, the sons of Asaph. Meshelemiah had sons, Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebediah the third, Jothniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jehohanan the sixth, and Eliahonai the seventh. Obed-Edom had sons, Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, Sechar the fourth, Nathanael the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, and Peuelethai the eighth, for God had blessed him. To his sons Shemaiah were born sons who were leaders of their clans, for they were men of great ability. The sons of Shemaiah, Othni, Raphael, Obed, and Elzabad. His brothers Elihu and Shemachiah were also valiant men. All these were descendants of Obed-Edom. They and their sons and their kingdom were kinsmen of capable men of the strength to do the work, 62 of Obed-Edom. Meshelemiah had sons of his brothers, 18 able men. Also Hosa, descendant of Merari, had sons. Shimri the first, although he was not the firstborn, his father made him the first. Hilkiah the second, Tebaliah the third, Zechariah the fourth. All the sons and brothers of Hosa were 13. These divisions of gatekeepers by their chief men had duties corresponding to their kinsmen for Avodah in the house of Adonai. So they cast lots, small and great alike, by clan for each gate. The lot for the east gate fell to Shelemiah. When they cast lots for Zechariah, his son, an insightful counselor, and his lot came out for the north gate, to Obed-Edom the south gate, and to his sons in the storehouse, to Shupim and Hosa, the east gate, by the Shaleketh gate on the ascending highway. Guard corresponded to guard. There were 6 Levites on the east, 4 a day on the north, 4 a day on the south, and at the storehouse by pairs. At the colonnade on the west, there were 4 in the road, and 2 at the colonnade itself. There were the divisions of the gatekeepers of the sons of Korah and the sons of Merari. And the Levites, Ahijah was over the treasuries of the house of God and the treasuries of the dedicated things. The descendants of Ladan, who were the sons of Gershon through Ladan, were the chiefs of the clans of Ladan. The Gershonite were Jehieli, the sons of Jehieli, Zetham and Joel his brother. They were over the treasuries of the house of Adonai. Of the Amorites, the Ishadites, the Hebronites, the Uzzielites, Shebuel son of Gershom, son of Moses, was officer over the treasuries. His relatives, through Eleazar, Rehabiah his son, Jeshahiah his son, Joram his son, Zikri his son, and Shelomith his son. This Shelomith and his kinsmen were over all the treasuries of the dedicated things that King David and the chiefs of the clans of the commanders over thousands and hundreds and other army commanders had dedicated. They dedicated some of the plunder taken in battles to maintain the house of Adonai. All that Samuel the seer, son of Kish, Abner, son of Ner, and Joab, son of Zariah, dedicated by any other dedicated thing that was in the care of Shelomith and his relatives. Of the Ishadites, Hananiah and his sons were assigned outside of the duties and officers and judges over Israel. Of the Hebronites, Hashabai and his brothers, 1,700 capable men, had oversight of Israel west of the Jordan for all the work of Adonai and for the king's service. As for the Hebronites, Jerijah was the chief of the Hebronites according to the genealogical records of their families. In the 40th year of David's reign, a search was made and found in them were valiant men of Jazer of Gilead. His relatives, 2,700 men of valor, were heads of clans whom King David had appointed over the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, in every matter pertaining to God and the affairs of the king. First Chronicles chapter 27, David's officers. The number of Bani Israel, head of the clans of officers, of thousands, hundreds, and their officers who served the king in all matters of divisions that came and went out each month by month throughout the year. Each division had 24,000. Over the first division for the first months was Jashobeam, son of Zabdiel. His division had 24,000. He was the descendant of Perez, the head of all the officers of the army for the first month. Over the division of the second month was Dodai, the Ahahite. Mikloth was the chief officer, and the division consisted of 24,000. The third army commander for the fourth month was Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, the Kohen. He was leader of his division, which consisted of 24,000. This was Benaiah, who was a mighty man of the 30 and had charge over the 30. Amizabad, his son, was over his division. The fourth commander for the fourth month was Asahel, brother of Joab. Zebediah, his son, succeeded him. His division consisted of 24,000. The fifth commander for the fifth month was Shamhuth the Izrahite. His division consisted of 24,000. The commander for the sixth month was Ira, the son of Ikesh the Tekoite. His division consisted of 24,000. The seventh commander for the seventh month was Helatz the Pelonite from the children of Ephraim. His division consisted of 24,000. The eighth commander for the eighth month was Zibkai the Hushathite. Hushathite from the Zerahites. His division consisted of 24,000. The ninth commander for the ninth month was Abiezer and Anathothite of the Benjamites. His division consisted of 24,000. The 10th commander for the 10th month was Mahadadi, the Netophaelite of the Zerahites. His division consisted of 24,000. The 11th commander for the 11th month was Benaiah, son of the Pirathonite, a descendant of Ephraim. His division consisted of 24,000. The 12th commander for the 12th month was Heldai, the Netophaelite of Othniel. His division consisted of 24,000. Furthermore, over the tribes of Israel, of the Reubenites, Eleazar, son of Zichri, was the chief commander, or the chief officer. Of the Simeonites, Shephatiah, son of Maacah, of Levi, Hashabiah, son of Kemuel, of Aaron, Zadok, of Judah, Elihu, one of David's brothers, of Issachar, Omri, son of Michael, of Zebulun, Ishmaiah, son of Obadiah, of Naphtali, Jeremiah, son of Azriel, of the children of Ephraim, Hoshea, the son of Azaziah, of the half-tribe of Manasseh, Joel, son of Pedaiah, of the half-tribe of Manasseh and Gilead, Edo, son of Zechariah, of Benjamin, Jaasiel, son of Abner, of Dan, Azarel, son of Jeraham. These were the officers of the tribes of Israel, but David did not count these 20 years old and under, because Adonai said that he would multiply Israel as the stars of heaven. Joab, the sons of Zeruiah, began to count them, but did not finish. Wrath came upon all of Israel for this, and the number was not entered into the account of the Chronicles of King David. Over the king's storehouses, Asmaveth, son of Adiel, over the storehouses in the fields of the cities, of the villages of the citadels, Jonathan, son of Uzziah, over the field laborers for tilling the ground, Ezri, the son of Chelub, over the vineyards, Shimei, the Ramathite, over the produce of the vineyards for the wine cellars, Sabdi the Shifmite, over the olive trees and the sycamore trees in the lowland, Baal Hanan the Gederite, over the cedars of oil, Joash, over the cattle grazing in Sharon, Shirtai the Sharonite, over the cattle grazing in the valleys, Shaphat, son of Adlai, over the camels, Obil the Ishmaelite, over the donkeys, Jehediah the Meronothite, and over the flocks, Jaziz the Hagarite. Over these were stewards of the property of King David. Also Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, learned man, and scribe. Jehiel, son of Hachmoni, tutored the king's sons. Ahithophel was the king's counselors. Hushai the Archite was the king's friend. Ahithophel was succeeded by Jehoiada, son of Benaiah, and Abiathar. Joab was the commander of the king's army. 1 Chronicles chapter 28. Men and materials. Now David assembled all the leaders of Israel in Jerusalem and the tribal officers, the commanders of the divisions that served the king, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, and the stewards over all the property and livestock of the king and of his sons, along with the high officials, the mighty warriors, and all the men of valor. Then King David rose to his feet and said, "Listen to me, my brothers and my people. As for me, it was my heart to build a resting place for the ark of the covenant of Adonai and the footstool for our God, so I made the preparations for the building. But God said to me, You will not build a house for my name, because you are a man of war and have shed blood. Yet Adonai, the God of Israel, has chosen me out of all my ancestral houses to be king over Israel forever. For he chose Judah as a ruler, and of the house of Judah, my father's house, and my father's sons, he took pleasure in me to make me king over all Israel. Moreover, all of my sons, for Adonai has given me many sons. He has chosen Solomon, my son, to sit on the throne of the kingdom of Adonai over Israel. He said to me, Solomon, your son will build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be a son to me, and I will be a father to him. I will establish his kingdom forever, if he absolutely observes my mitzvot and my ordinances as at this day. Now therefore, in the sight of all Israel, the congregation of Adonai, and in the hearing of our God, observe and seek all the mitzvot of Adonai, your God, so that you may possess this good land and may bequeath it to your children after you forever. Now you, Solomon, my son, know the God of your father and serve him with a whole heart and with a willing mind, for Adonai searches all the hearts and understands every intent of the thoughts. If you seek him, he will be found in you, but if you forsake him, he will reject you forever. Consider now, for Adonai has chosen you to build a house for the sanctuary at Shazak, and do it." Then David gave Solomon his son the pattern of the porch, its houses, its storerooms, its upper rooms, its inner rooms, and the place of atonement, and the plan of all that he had by the Ruach for the courts of the house of Adonai, and all the surrounding rooms for the storehouses of the houses of God, for the treasures of the dedicated things, also for the divisions of the Kohanim and the Levites, for all the tasks of the Avodah in the house of Adonai, and for all the vessels of Avodah in the house of Adonai, for gold, the weight of gold for all vessels of every kind of Avodah, and silver, the weight of silver for all vessels for every type of Avodah, and the weight for the gold menorah and their gold lamps, including for the silver menorah, including the weight of each menorah and its lamps according to the use of each menorah. Also the weight of gold For the tables of roasted bread, for every table, and silver for the silver tables, and forks, the basins, the pitchers of pure gold, and for the golden bowls with the weight for every bowl, and for the silver bowls with the weight for every bowl, and for the altar of incense with the weight of refined gold, and the gold for the form of the chariot, the cherubim that spread out their wings, covering the ark of the covenant of Adonai. All this I put in writing from the hand of Adonai upon me, as he gave me insight regarding the plan of all his works. Also David said to his son Solomon, Shazak, and be courageous, and do it. Do not be afraid or dismayed, for Adonai Elohim, my God, is with thee. He will not fail you or forsake you until all the work of thee for the Avodah of the house of Adonai is finished. Now behold, there are the divisions of the Kohanim and the Levites for all the Avodah of the house of God, and with you and all the work are willing men, skilled in all types of tasks. Also the officials and all the people are at your command. 1 Chronicles chapter 29. David commissions his son. Then King David said to the entire assembly, my son Solomon, the one whom God has chosen, is young and inexperienced, and the task is great, for the palace is not for man, but for Adonai Elohim. Now I have made every effort to prepare for the house of my God gold for the golden objects, silver for the silver, copper for the copper, iron for the iron, and wood for the wood, onyx stones and inlay stones of antimony and variegated colors, every kind of precious stones and marble in abundance. Moreover, in my devotion to the house of my God, I have given over my private treasures of gold and silver to the house of my God, in addition that I have already supplied for the holy house, 3,000 gold talents of silver from Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver to overlay the walls of the houses, gold for golden objects and silver for silver work, into the hands of the craftsman, who then will offer willingly, consecrating himself this day to Adonai. Then the leaders of the clans, the officials of the tribes of Israel, the commanders of thousands and hundreds, and the supervisors over the king's work contributed willingly. They gave for the service of the house of God 5,000 talents and 10,000 derricks of gold, 10,000 talents of silver, 18,000 talents of bronze, 100,000 talents of iron. Whoever possesses stones gave them to the treasury of the house of Adonai in the care of Jehiel the Gershonite. Then the people rejoiced over their freewill offerings, because of the whole heart they offered willingly to Adonai. King David also rejoiced with great joy. David blessed Adonai before the whole congregation, saying, Blessed are you, Adonai, God of Israel, our Father, from eternity to eternity. Yours, Adonai, is the greatness, the power, and the splendor, and the victory, and the majesty, indeed, everything in heaven and earth. Yours is the kingdom, Adonai, and you are exalted above all. Both riches and honor come for you. You rule over everything. In your hand is power and might, in your hand to magnify and give strength to all. Now, our God, we give you thanks and praise your glorious name. But who am I and who are my people that we should be able to offer so willingly as this? For everything comes from you, and from your hand we have given to you. For we are sojourners before you, mere transients like our fathers. Our days on this earth are like a shadow without security. Adonai Eloheinu. But this abundance that we have laid aside for you to build your house in your holy name from God, that you search the heart and take pleasure in uprightness, with integrity of heart, have willingly offered all these things. And now I have seen with your joy your people who are present here willingly contribute to you. Adonai, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, our fathers, preserve forever such motives. Stop it. And thoughts in the heart of your people, and make their heart constant toward you. No, bad kitty. As for my son Solomon, give him a whole heart to keep your mitzvah, your decrees, and your statutes, and to fill them all, to build the temple for which I have made provision. Then Adonai said to your whole congregation, Now bless Adonai your God. So the whole congregation blessed Adonai with the God of their fathers. They bowed down and fell prostrate before Adonai the king. Solomon acclaimed king. The next day they sacrificed sacrifices to Adonai, and offered burnt offerings to Adonai, 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, along with their drink offerings and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel. For they ate and drank before Adonai that day with great joy. Then they designated Solomon on the sons of David as a king second time, anointing him for Adonai as ruler, and Zadok of the Kohen. And Zadok is Kohen. So Solomon sat on the throne of Adonai as king instead of his father David. He prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. All the fathers and the mighty men, as well as the sons of the king David, pledged their hand to support the king Solomon. Adonai highly exalted Solomon in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed on him such royal majesties as he had never been to any king before him in Israel. Now David, son of Jesse, reigned over all Israel. The length of his reign over Israel was 40 years. He reigned in Hebron 7 years, and he reigned in Jerusalem 33 years. He died at a good old age, full of days, riches, and honor, and his son Solomon became king in his place. Now the acts of King David, the first And the last, behold, are written in the Chronicles of Samuel the seer, and the Chronicles of Nathan the prophet, and in the Chronicles of Gad the seer, together with all his reign, his power, and the events that involved him, Israel, and the kingdoms of the lands.